there is this energy of chaos present right now. And why is it here? And how can we best navigate it? These are the questions that I will be exploring in this video. And welcome back to my channel, in which we speak about self-mastery and how we can live the best life from the inside out. And this energy of chaos, energy of drama, we can see it being played out on the world stage. And if you are somebody who maybe does not look at the world stage, this chaos energy is still here to kind of suck us into it. You may have realized or noticed in certain areas of your life, suddenly everything is more chaotic or more stressful or generally just more confusing or bringing this sense of sinking into the messiness of it. And I have seen this for me in my personal life. I have seen this in areas of work. I have seen this for others in areas of work as well, personal projects as well. And it can also be family. It can also be, just looking at the world and getting sucked into that energy by witnessing and empathizing and feeling at one with that energy, by reading the news, by looking at those kinds of things. And this is happening for a reason. Collectively, we are moving through this energy with this new level of consciousness because we are healing, we are transmuting energy, and we are rebirthing a new way of being. And part of the birthing process is pain, is that kind of energy of it's too much, overwhelm. And it's the birthing pains that the planet is undergoing right now. And so, yes, it can be a painful process and we get to move through that with grace. However, there is also this underlying energy of, are you going to choose to succumb to the chaos and the pain and get lost in it? Or are you going to choose to remain in your frame and witness the chaos and the pain, while also knowing that you can stay in your beautiful energy? So this is kind of the choice that we have right now, and there is no right or wrong. Whatever happens, it's meant to happen in that way. However, for me, the most beneficial way of moving through the world is to be able to stay connected with my loving energy within me and not get completely wrapped up and lost in the stories or the pain or the chaos or whatever we want to call it. So we are being asked right now, the ones who choose the path of staying in love, we are being asked to use all our self-mastery tools available to us to be able to remain in this observer, bystander, looking, witnessing role, rather than becoming wrapped up in something that we ultimately have no control over. Because it's easy for the mind to say, oh, if I just do this, then it's going to sort it out. However, with this energy, with this chaos energy, it is not about what we do directly with that energy. It is actually about how we do not let ourselves get sucked into those stories, to then be able to come at it with our own coherent energy. Because actually the way that we can move through the distortion and the incoherence in the most beneficial way for ourselves and everyone else is when we can bring coherent energy to that energy. Because when we get sucked in and we become distorted thanks to that energy, then we are not bringing coherence to it. However, when we bring that coherence, we can soothe it. We can help it become less distorted. And so what can we do? So this energy is here, this energy is present, it's part of our evolution, it's part of the process of awakening, ascension, coming into the new earth, of coming into the new way. What I have noticed is, first of all, being aware of when I am getting sucked into this energy, because it can be subtle. It can start in a certain way with a certain pattern that you're very used to, and then suddenly escalate into this being completely enthralled in this worrying a lot, thinking about whatever the chaos is representing in your life too much, and ultimately it's not actually doing anything of benefit other than dysregulating your nervous system. So becoming aware more quickly of when I was getting sucked into the energy was the first step for me, because then as I was noticing myself getting sucked in, I could more quickly take action towards coming back to myself. So awareness, the first step to being able to navigate anything in the most positive way, right? And we can cultivate that awareness by inviting it in, by saying, okay, I know that there's this chaos energy around, and I want to set the intention to not get sucked into it. And then through setting that intention, you will become aware more quickly when you're getting sucked in. So when you notice yourself becoming sucked in, what you can do is come back to nervous system regulating tools. So that can look like havening, where we do this kind of touch on ourselves, like this and like this. Super powerful technique to calm the whole nervous system, and so accessible. We can do it anywhere, and we can calm our nervous system immediately. We can come into a completely different way of feeling immediately. Then there's also yoga nidra, meditation, and any kind of somatic work can be super helpful as well for calming the nervous system and shaking out the stress, letting it go in this way. And yeah, whatever else there may be, you may know some more. And if you do, let me know in the comments. What are your top tips for regulating your nervous system? And once we then come back to a regulated nervous system, we can then allow ourselves on a mind level to not keep spiraling into the chaos or the worries or the thoughts around whatever the chaos energy represents. We can come back to our frame, come back to our center, and from that place, we can make choices that are more aligned to love, because at the end of the day, this chaos energy represents distortion, represents fear, and we get to come into coherence within ourselves by coming back to self-love, by choosing ourselves again and again and again, by choosing to love ourselves so much that we do not allow ourselves to get sucked into that energy, first of all, that we do the practices to calm our nervous system, to not feel stressed anymore, and to make those choices throughout the day that are in service of ourselves from a point of view of love, not from an ego self-serving point of view, from a soul purpose point of view, which is also the best for the whole. What is for the highest good for us as individuals is for the highest good of the whole. And that's where that coherence energy, that loving energy, can spill out and make those ripples into the world. And so awareness, nervous system regulation, self-love, choosing the self, choosing what is of the highest service for me. Okay, how do I know that? I'm going to tune into myself, finding ways to tune in, whether that's through journaling, whether that's through meditation, checking in with self, checking in with the soul, checking in with the higher self, what's of the highest service for me right now, and following that guidance, being true to it, really allowing yourself to say, hey, I love myself so much that I am no longer choosing out of guilt, out of shame, out of whatever those stories were that were taught to me as a child, where I couldn't be myself, where I couldn't honor myself. I no longer choose those stories. I choose the story of my path, of using my unique gifts, of allowing myself to feel joy that is genuine and true and loving for myself. And that has nothing to do with feeling like I have to suffer to receive something to then feel joy. Because that is also a story that can be taught to us as a child. If we are not able to be authentic, if we have to do things in a certain way to then get the reward or get the outcome that we're looking for, then we are being taught that you need to suffer to be able to have that thing, right? So letting go of those stories. And ultimately, from this place of calm nervous system, of acting from a place of self-love or the soul's desire or the higher plan, or however you want to word it, we can continuously navigate this chaos energy and bring coherence into it, not letting ourselves get sucked into it. However, riding the waves, not drowning in the water, being like sucked into the depths of the water, like, oh my God, what is going on? Can ride the waves, be like, whew, okay, it's getting a bit bumpy, it's getting a bit rocky right now. However, I have the tools available to me. I can tune in with myself. I can regulate my nervous system and come back to a state of calm and coherence, which will help me to navigate this storm. And from my experience, around the Lionsgate portal is when things can get really heated up. So it could be that this period of May, June, July is such a great period to really anchor in these practices, anchor in this way of being, till everything kind of dials up, and we move through that portal, go through that Lionsgate portal into the new way of being. Ultimately, right now, this is what is present, this energy, and this is what we can do about it. So let's empower ourselves to ride those waves, to weather the storm in the most healthiest, beneficial way for ourselves as individuals, for the people around us, and for the collective, bringing in that good energy. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'm super excited to see you in the next video.